So here is a question. I have just crossed my 24th birthday, and how should I be investing? Look, I find even such questions very difficult to answer because it depends on your background. I can of course tell you something very generic, but the answer that I give to a son of a peon or a clerk whose father is maybe earning 3 lakhs a year and literally living hand to mouth, and this boy you have started earning, maybe you're earning 5 lakhs a year or 4 lakhs a year or 5 lakhs a year. How you should invest can be very, very different from another boy or a girl who is same 24 years of age. Father is a vice president in a bank, mother is a vice president in an IT company. She is the only grandchild, and the amount that she will inherit today is say 50 crores. There is absolutely no connection between these two people because this kid is perhaps earning 20 lakhs of starting salary. Went to the right colleges, went to the right business schools, maybe abroad, maybe in India, and starts off on a salary of 20 lakhs. Are we saying both are equal? No. The advice to the person who is earning 4-5 lakhs, whose father is earning 3 lakhs is first, go and get adequate medical insurance for the family. Take a term insurance because it's not as though your parents are dependent on you, but going forward they will be, because if your father has been earning 3 lakhs at his age of say 52, he couldn't have saved much for or invested much for his own retirement. He would have spent a lot of money on his children, on your education, on your siblings' education, right? And tomorrow if there is a marriage, there is no point in telling him don't spend, because he is going to spend. So he is going to prioritize wrongly. So you need to first make sure that you are adequately insured, then make sure that the whole family has adequate medical insurance. Do that, and then maybe start a 10,000 rupee SIP with a index fund, because slowly you will learn what is an index fund, what are large cap funds, what are mid cap funds. You will know how to pick an advisor. Currently at your level of complications, you do not need an advisor, and a DIY with a index fund in a direct scheme will work for you. Now, what would be my advice to the girl or a boy who is say 24 and who's likely to inherit 50 crores? Should she also do an SIP? Maybe she should do an SIP, but again a small SIP. She should perhaps go and invest in her friends' businesses, etc. She should learn how to do let's say a venture funding. Maybe 5 of her friends are trying to create a unicorn. Maybe she could go and offer her services to them in exchange of equity. Maybe she should know how to protect her money, because for her also protection is very important. Because if you have, let's talk in Indian terms, if you have 50 crores as of today, or is likely that you are going to inherit because of parental ESOPs and parental portfolios and real estate doing well, whatever be the reasons, then it is very important that you learn fund management. It is not that you are going to earn 20 lakhs and you're doing a 50,000 rupee SIP. No, we are not talking of that, right? We are talking of a person who will have to learn how to manage 50 crores, right? Which could be, you could have a dramatically different asset allocation from what your parents have or your grandparents have. So your grandparents may have kept all the money in bank fixed deposits, your father may have put it in mutual funds, but you may just draw on it to go and create an app and make a sensational success, or lose money. But you have the ability to take that. So do that. Maybe that's good advice for the 24-year-old, or the 24-year-old is a very successful doctor. She's become a doctor, she's planning to study, and she's going to start earning only at the age of 31, 32. That's also fine, because you have 50 crores of your own money. Very important that you go and find yourself an advisor, because you, along with your practice of being a doctor, you may not be able to find enough time to learn and enough time to manage your portfolio. So for each person the answer is going to be so different that but some of the things are very clear. Start early. If you have to invest, you have to invest as soon as you can, right? There is no point in waiting. For example, Forget the rate of interest, but if a 22-year-old starts investing 10,000 rupees a month and he gets a reasonable return, whatever be the rate of return, I don't remember the calculation, he would have 13 crores for his retirement. Maybe I took a pretty high rate because this is an old calculator. And the same thing to be achieved by a 35-year-old. But imagine 22 to 35 or 24 to 35, just 11 years. To accumulate the same amount at the same interest rate, he will need to put 55,000 rupees a month, right? That's high. So starting early is always good. Whatever you are wanting to do, joining a gym, building your health, making sure that you have a very sensible diet plan which includes a lot of fruits and vegetables which are in raw form. Whatever you want to do, starting early always helps. It's a good habit which you're going to take for a very long time. So sit down, understand your assets, understand your investments. This is the advice for the 24-year-old son, daughter of a person with 50 crore net worth. For you, learning all that is important. The earlier the better. Maybe you should have learned it in class 12, but maybe you're now 24. But if you're like I said, if you're a doctor, then understand that earning well, creating a good reputation, you will do all that. Then you need to hire an advisor who will manage that 50 crores for you. If you are a person who wants to do hands-on investment, then for heaven's sake, out of the potential money that you are going to inherit, make sure that you will put away some in government securities, some in kind of bonds which you can't touch for 10-15 years, which will become your safety rock in case something goes wrong. So lot of strategies can be very different. But if you're a typical middle class 24-year-old, best is to start your SIP in an index fund. I'm not saying index funds will always outperform, but it is a good place to start, and it is better than keeping your money in the savings bank account doing nothing. So start with an index fund and keep learning about the mutual fund industry. Not too many resources available for that, so please learn. Then once you're convinced that there is some strategy which you understand and which is happening and for which you can do it yourself, then do it. As if you don't find, in the meanwhile, let the money be in an index fund, nothing wrong. But yes, if you're going to inherit big amounts of money, please learn financial management, or rather investment management. Please understand also that investment management is very different from financial planning. Financial planning is making sure your name is correct in the policies. A very administrative kind of a thing is also part of that. Investment management is purely knowing how to manage your investments, where to invest, how to do asset allocation and things like that. Whether to do asset allocation at all, right? There is a book called The Intelligent Asset Allocator. I think it's Bernstein. Go and pick that up, read. That doesn't go away. That is a thing which both of you have to do. Whether you're earning well, earning 5 lakhs or earning 20 lakhs, it doesn't really matter. Go and read. That is the only way to learn investment management, whether you're managing 50 crores or whether you're doing a 5,000 rupee SIP, because you're 24 years. And if you do not know much about investing, it's a fantastic age to do an SIP in books. So pick up a book and say, every day I will read 30 pages of this book, and start investing. That will perhaps be the best investment that you would make. Thank you. I did one post on how a 24-year-old should invest. So let me again talk a bit about how a 24-year-old should invest. So one advice does not change at all, that your futures, in the future, someday you will want to retire, maybe at 50, 55, 60, or if something goes wrong with your health, maybe at 48. You do not know what could go wrong. So you have to invest and save for yourself. There is absolutely no doubt that that has to be the best advice anybody can give you. Start as early as possible. Go and check all the calculators. There is no calculator which will say delay karo. So please go and invest in yourself, in your learning about compounding, seeing how it will work, and start an SIP if you do not know anything in an index fund. Also, a very important thing to do is try to find a good advisor who will do this for you, sit and teach with you, and maybe after 5 years you will go and do direct investments, or even now you will sit with him and do some investments, and some investments you will do direct investments, whatever it is. But find a good advisor, especially if you have a big corpus to handle and you're likely to inherit some money. If all these things are true, hire a good advisor. It is definitely worth his weight in gold. One advice which is very contrary to what everybody else in your family will be giving you is, I'm very clear that you should not be buying a house at this age. Buy a house when you're 37, 38, because you have more visibility about what you want to do in your life. Maybe you have a kid. So you will know that you have to look for a school nearby, right? So knowing all that, after that buying a house makes sense. So right now you can afford to live on rent, or if you're still living with your parents, that's also fine. Don't get too carried away by American websites which say by 18 you have to move out, or by 22 you have to move out. You choose your level of comfort, but don't buy a house. Take it on rent if you need to live separately. That's fine. Don't postpone investing. This is again takeaway from the first one, because people say, let me finish my student loan, let me finish my car loan, this month is my my sister's wedding, or something like that. Don't use any of these excuses. It is always to be done along with it, because it's never going to stop, right? So if you are repaying loans, yes, fantastic, but does not mean you should stop investing. Don't wait for A to happen, then you will do B. Don't do that. Whatever is the amount with which you can start your SIP, please go ahead and start. If you know how to select, great. If you do not know, there is always an index fund. There are many calculators which will allow you to run the saying, should you be buying a house, or should you be or should you be investing the money. But please also realize, life is not just about knowing what is that. The question is, do you have the family strength? I mean, does your wife also think like this? Do your children think? Do your parents think like this? All that is important. Getting everybody to your point of view is very important. You should keep trying that, right? One very important thing which I wish to tell you is, stop getting more and more of these degrees. There are just too many degrees floating around now. So people think that you should do your professional course and then do your MBA also. So CA, company secretary ban gaya, BCom, then you do company secretary, then you feel this is not enough, then you go and do an MBA, and then you are wondering what you should do, right? But the thing is, degrees do not help. What helps will be you being able to deliver to your boss the work given to you, done very well, appreciated by the client paying for it, right? That is far more important than getting degrees. Degrees don't really help. Become wealthy. Don't try to become rich, which means if you're earning 100,000 rupees a month and you're spending 100,000, you'll definitely feel rich, but you're not wealthy. If you're earning 1 lakh per month, you're spending 10,000 rupees and investing 90,000 rupees, greater probability of you doing well. So don't go and splurge and show off to people, and those things are perhaps unnecessary. Yes, you need a car, but if you do not need a car, don't buy a car. Bombay kind of places, you will be able to always find public transport. Yes, if you're in a small town, you're living with your parents, you're sure, or you're expecting that there could be a medical emergency and you won't get a vehicle. Yes, in those places you need to have a vehicle, but be careful about which kind of a vehicle you're buying, because buying luxury cars can very quickly dissipate your money. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you.